They say the sea can be calm and inviting one moment, and deadly the next. For the ancient Greeks, this wasn't just a quirk of nature. It was the will of a god. The Greeks called him Earthshaker, a god whose anger could split the land and swallow entire cities. Worshipped by sailors, feared by kings, and resented by enemies. This is the story of Poseidon, the vengeful ruler of the seas. A deity whose power was as vast and unpredictable as the waters he ruled, and whose temper could drown empires. But behind the grandeur and the power lies a god fueled by grudges. Against mortals, against other gods, and sometimes even against his own family. Today, we dive into the myth, the might, and the vengeance of Poseidon, the god you never wanted to cross. Poseidon was born to the Titans Cronus and Rhea, brother to Zeus and Hades. But like his siblings, his life began in darkness, quite literally. Cronus, fearing his children would overthrow him, swallowed each one whole. Rhea saved Zeus, who later freed Poseidon and the others from their father's stomach. When victory came in the Titanomachy, the three brothers divided the world. Zeus claimed the skies, Hades took the underworld, and Poseidon was given the endless sea. In art, he's almost always seen with his trident, a three-pronged spear forged by the Cyclopes. Powerful enough to stir storms, shatter rocks, and even split mountains. His sacred animals included horses, creatures he's credited with creating, and dolphins, a nod to his connection with both speed and the sea. Poseidon wasn't a gentle ruler. While he could grant calm seas to sailors, he was far more famous for unleashing storms, earthquakes, and floods at the slightest insult. His trident could shatter stone and shake the earth, a power that earned him the title Earthshaker. And unlike Zeus, whose wrath was often tempered by politics, Poseidon's fury was deeply personal. When offended, he didn't just punish, he devastated. When King Minos of Crete refused to sacrifice a sacred bull, Poseidon cursed Minos' wife Pasiphae to fall in love with it. A cruel act that led to the birth of the monstrous Minotaur. In another tale, the city of Troy earned his fury when its king, Laomedon, refused to pay him for building the city's walls. Poseidon sent a sea monster to ravage the coast until the hero Heracles intervened. One of Poseidon's most famous rivalries was with Athena. Both sought control over the same city. To win, Poseidon struck the ground with his trident, creating a saltwater spring. Or in some versions, a magnificent warhorse. Athena, however, offered the olive tree, symbol of peace and prosperity. The people chose Athena, and the city became Athens. Poseidon never forgot the insult, and some say he cursed the city with poor access to fresh water. Crossing Poseidon was a dangerous gamble for any mortal. Odysseus learned this the hard way after blinding Poseidon's son, the Cyclops Polyphemus. Odysseus found himself cursed to wander the seas for 10 long years, facing storm after storm, all at the god's hand. To Poseidon, vengeance was not swift. It was drawn out like an endless, punishing tide. But Poseidon wasn't only a god of destruction. He was also credited with creating the first horse, a gift to humanity that symbolized both beauty and power. Still, his creations often came with a cost. The same god who could gift life could also snatch it away, pulling ships into the deep without warning. In Greek thought, Poseidon embodied the duality of the sea, giver of bounty, bringer of ruin. Even now, thousands of years later, Poseidon's legacy is etched into the myths, art, and culture of the Mediterranean. He was not a god you prayed to for love or comfort. You prayed to him for survival. For the Greeks, the sea was both a blessing and a threat. And Poseidon ruled it with a merciless hand. In modern culture, Poseidon remains a symbol of raw, untamed power, from epic films to literature to video games. But in the ancient world, his presence was more than myth. For sailors leaving port, his name was whispered like a prayer. And for those who angered him, it was the last name they'd ever speak. So the next time you hear the ocean's roar, remember. Ancient sailors believed that was Poseidon himself, reminding mortals who truly commands the deep. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to hear the next whisper behind the myth.